Hey everyone, camera broke, so we're going to just have to look at the screen until I can afford to buy a new one. But I just want to remind people the terrible state. I don't want to talk about negativity. I want to talk about the terrible state that American entertainment is in right now. But okay, if you disagree with me, tell me an original IP which came from the United States in recent years. Something that's not a reboot, something that's not a remake, something that's not a reimagining. No, an original IP that is not based on a book, that is not based on a comic. Like something that actually came out. You know, like when you had The Predator appearing. New thing, a lot of people liked it, created a fan base. Star Wars wasn't based on a book, wasn't based on anything. It's just like, you have the director coming up, making a movie, ended up being great. Indiana Jones. I mean, I can just sit here hour after hour after hour just giving you new and new and new IPs that have happened in the past, which were absolutely amazing. Nowadays, you get sequels, you get remakes, and you get reimaginings. That's what you get. And they're not interesting. They're mediocre. And because they're mediocre, they need to sell somehow. They need to convince people to get to see them somehow. And they do this mainly by trying to sell it with outrage. The idea is simple, okay? Like, look, our movie is not just for entertainment. Our movie, it's revolutionary. It's going to change the world. The world is going to be a better place because of our movie. Like, our movie is better than feeding the homeless. Our movie is going to help marginalized communities because it's going to have a gay character in it. Isn't that fascinating? So anyone that criticizes our movie isn't doing so because they don't like the fact that we're lazy and we're doing a reimagining or a sequel or a prequel, or we just don't even have a good script to begin with. No. They're criticizing our movie because they're homophobic. And if you're a progressive person, if you're a decent person, if you're a nice patriotic American who doesn't like bigots, well, you're going to pay your money to our company because we are changing the world. Let's change the world together by watching a Disney movie. That's how they're marketing it, you know? And it's very difficult to say that a company like Disney doesn't have sway with the mainstream media, because they definitely do. It's painfully obvious. I mean, there are recordings from Rotten Tomatoes with critics who went on streams and I have said, like, yeah, I didn't really like this movie and I would have loved to criticize it, but if I criticize it, then I don't get invited to future screenings. I don't get to have the screening in advance, so I lose clicks, I lose money, I lose revenue. So a lot of these journalists might not be paid directly by the company, but it's heavily implied. Hey, you want early access to our stuff? You want early access to our products? Write good things about us. Give us some fluff pieces. Give us some... Some of them might even be sponsored content. But it is what it is, you know? So you have the press being part of the PR team for these big corporations. I wouldn't be surprised if money even exchanges hands. I mean, you have to understand, these movies have millions of dollars spent on marketing. Like, there are a lot of money that's just being spent on marketing. Why can't some of that money go to wine and dine some journalists? Why can't some of that money go in order to have some payola? Is payola something that never happens in human history? Like, what? So you get like these articles, you know, okay, Pixar's Onward introduces Disney's first openly gay animated character. You know, brilliant. All right, like Disney finally, after all this time, has a gay animated character, right? Look at this. Beauty and the Beast. Josh Gad plays Disney first ever gay character. Well, all that, you know, it's not a... I guess that there is no problem to be seen here, because this one is animated and this one is flesh and blood. This one is openly, this one might still be in the closet. But there's still the first, we're still breaking windows, right? Like, we're still ground-shattering events here, doing that. I mean, oh, come on. Avengers Endgame has the MCU's first canonically gay character. I mean, yeah, well, you know, like, this one is animated. This one is in Beauty and the Beast. But this one right here is canonical, right? So they're all gay. Like, you need to understand, like, when the glass ceilings are being broken with every single movie. Like, every time it's revolutionary. Look here, Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker features first gay kiss in a galaxy far away, right? So up till this point, yes, they had gay characters, but they never kissed. Oh, now we're pushing the boundaries a little bit more. Finding Dory features Disney's first gay couple. So you know, maybe these ones kissed, but they weren't a couple. I mean, these ones are doing it without living in sin. These ones are doing it officially. Like, I guess in Finding Dorothy, we now have gay marriage or something, huh? Disney's first gay character doesn't speak in Jungle Cruise trailer. My God, like, how many glass ceilings can we break? How many can we demolish so far? Because it's just wow. You know, every day is first gay character day, isn't it? These corporations, they're astonishing, aren't they? It's by the way, like, when you do something like this, I have a question. Like, when you say that this is the first gay character that Disney has, aren't you erasing all the previous ones that came before, or do they only matter before the movie premiere? Like, are they only important before the movie actually screens? And once the movie screens, they stop being important. I guess this is how these corporations treat their characters, right? That are groundbreaking. Totally not tokens, by the way. Totally not just a publicity stunt. No. Like, you need to understand, Disney now has values. They really want to change the world. Look at this. Hold on. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Technical difficulty. Oh, here we go. Disney's Toy Story 4 praised by LGBT activists for lesbian mom scene. Well, at least it's, you know, now maybe we can say it finally stopped being the first. It finally stopped, right? But that's not all. Because if you don't want to upset China, in case you don't know, if you want to sell your movie in China, if you want to monetize that, you need to bypass the Chinese censor, and they are not really friendly when it comes to LGBT. I mean, maybe just saying that the character, like, you're alluding that the character might be gay, or maybe you're showing a kiss for a couple of frames, like that's pushing the boundary. That's how YouTube would say brushing against the gray area. Content that brushes against our community guidelines without breaking it. But if you just want to have your cake and eat it too, you want to say that you're progressive, but you also want to sell in China, that you shouldn't really go with the LGBT angle. You should go with the race angle, because that sells a lot better. And there's like this really bizarre thing that has garnered over the last couple of years, where every single redhead that's canonically a redhead is being turned into a black person. I don't know why they do this. I legitimately don't know. Like, you can have 20 people, and if one is a redhead, that is the one that the Netflix adaptation is going to target. I don't understand why this is. It's a complete mystery. Look how many. Look, and again, like, as I mentioned before, the reason, like, the main problem, which is why there are so many of them, is because everything now is a sequel, a reimagining, an adaptation. There is no originality. Like, no one would complain if they were to just make a new black superhero. That would be fine. But they can't do that, because they don't have any more creativity. I honestly think that part of the problem is that the culture from these corporations is to get their followers to obey. Because if they want their clients to obey, can you imagine how it is to actually work in these companies? They're like small versions of the Soviet Union, highly centralized, with a strong ideology, very left-wing. And when you have something like that, you can't have creativity. Because creativity means that the person would know to think outside the box. And if the person is creative, then they don't fit into an organization that's all about obeying and following the rules and making sure that you do what you're told. And you believe what you're told. And you think what you're told. So that's why you don't have original stuff anymore. Everything is a reimagining. And by the way, don't give me the bullshit, because I heard some people in the chat say, oh no, you see, everything, like this is the worst cop-out, and I'm not going to take it. We can't have original stuff anymore because by now everything has been created. We had so many decades of storytelling and so many years of original storytelling that pretty much everything that could be created has been created. Okay, if you're that type of person, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. Just look at what Japan is creating. Just look at what South Korea is creating. Just look at all these other countries that keep creating interesting stuff and original IPs, and then look at the Americans. The platform is, I think it's Spanish, from Netflix. I highly recommend it. You know, that is a left-leaning propaganda film against capitalism, but it's really great. Go watch it. Go watch it. Seriously, like, you can make good propaganda. But you need creative people in order to do that. Which, by the way, it seems that Disney and Netflix are completely running out of. Like, what they want to do is like, hey, we race swap the character. Oh, if you don't like it, you're a racist. You hate racists, don't you? Give us money. Give us money and we'll keep upsetting them. So, yeah, it's a little bit sad. And I'm still curious, though. Like, what is up with the redhead? Why are the redheads being targeted? It's just, like, so weird. I don't know. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section.